Good morning, my name's Nigel. Today I'd like to show you how to assemble the desktop mount for your tablets, and hoping that you received all of the components that we're going to show you today. So I'll just run through the components quickly. First off, you should have received a 4-port USB power supply. You should have received 3 of these tablet mounts. 3 of those tablet mounts. You should have received 1 of these pole mount attachments. I'm just going to open it up for you for a little unboxing at the same time. And you will have this guy here. The main pole assembly comes with 2 mounts already, so we're adding in this 3rd one for you. You will obviously have your own tablets. You should have received if applicable, depending on the store, some of them don't have iPads, so they don't need the lightning charging cable. Other stores have Android devices, so we have a Android charging cable type, a couple, 3 of those, depending on the store. You will have a bag of small tie wraps to help your cable management. You will, on the audio components end, you're going to have 3 cables similar to this. Yours may not be green, they're probably black, colored black. And these are male-to-male headphone style cables. 3 of those. And then you're also going to have this type of cable, which is a headphone splitter that we're going to use to kind of join and daisy chain the tablets together so that they can all plug into a single speaker that you can use to set your audio alerts when you receive orders. You will have also received a set of speakers, a little bit different from these ones, different in that they will not have this power supply, but rather a USB cable that will plug into your charger, and the speakers will get their power that way. And then on the back of the speaker, it'll have a port where you'll plug in one of your headphone jack cables when everything gets tied together. And then lastly, the mount itself comes in this box. I will open this up. Okay, so inside the box is the main pole. We have a base, and then we have 2 pole mounts that attach to the pole, and with a standard VESA adapter. There's 1. Here is the 2nd one, and then a little bag of screws to kind of put everything together. So that basically is all of the items we will need today to assemble our pole. So we'll start off with the actual pole assembly, and I will open up our bag here and just empty out the contents. And so our pole top has a plastic cap on it. The bottom has a hole for a screw. The screw here actually is the largest one in your little bag. And you have your mount. And the bottom of the mount is recessed, so when this goes in, it's flush with the bottom. It sticks through. And then I just take the end of the pole with the screw hole and just tighten that on. Maybe. Try that again. difficulties here, but let's try that again. Okay, let's see. Hang on a second here. Okay, that seems to be working now. So just tighten that down. You can just hand tighten it, it's fine. Just hold the screw on the underside and it tightens up. And that should be fine. You can, if you want, you can put a screwdriver on that and make it super tight, but it should be fine like this. And that's how the pole is going to look. Second thing we're going to do is put our actual pole mounts on. So basically just take them and slide them down. And I'd probably go about, for the first one, maybe we'll go about 6, 7, 8 inches above the bottom of the base. And we have a couple of Allen keys here that are going to be used to tighten this up onto the pole. So just give it a few turns. That one, just kind of line that up so it's in the front there. Tighten this up. Okay. Just a little more tightening. A little tedious, but we are getting there. Okay, so now that's tight on there. And a couple more turns on this side. Like so. Okay. So that's the first one. And then there is this VESA adapter that, so if you look at the mount here, there's a ridge on the top, follows the contour of this receiver on the back of the VESA adapter. It's kind of going to sit on like that, and there's a couple of screws we're going to put in to kind of hold it in place. But the mount for the tablet actually then attaches to this. So I have a tablet mount already out of its package here, so this is kind of what they look like, and I'm going to attach that to the VESA adapter, and there's an arrow on the back of the mount that points up, so you can just kind of fold it out. So the up arrow and the receiver here should be in the same direction, and then we can use the screws that are supplied with the tablet mount. And so there's a screw and a nut. Simple tools that will be required to obviously tighten these up. Just a screwdriver set and a pair of pliers. This should be fine. Just work over the table just in case you drop the screw and it doesn't fall to the floor. And we will do that for the other two holes now. Okay, finally the last one. So there we have our VESA adapter, and the tablet mount will more likely sit in a horizontal landscape plane, and then it will sit onto the mount here. Now the mount, you can kind of see how this just kind of flopped down. There are 3 screws on the back of the mount here, small screws that when they're tightened equally, then that'll tighten this up so that it doesn't flop around on you. And so I'm just going to take one of the, actually 2 Allen keys that come in the kit there, and we'll just tighten these up a little bit. Just a few turns, and so I'm doing turning one screw at a time, trying to provide equal pressure on all 3 screws. And I can start to feel it tighten up now. Starting to tighten, staying in place, tighten that screw. Tighten that screw. Okay. That's pretty good. So that's nice and tight now. Then, if when it's in its final location, so depending on the height, etc., if you're standing, you might want to tilt it up. If it's the one on top, you're going to tilt it down, etc. So you've got 3 tablets in your setup. Then you're going to install the second one of these, about 8 inches above the first. And then we'll have the third and last one. So again, the kit only comes with 2 of these, and with 3 tablets, and we have to add in a separate mount. Now let me just check. In the box will be an Allen key to help attach the mount to the pole. So on this one here, Allen key, I'll just loosen up these screws. Once you get them started, you can just turn them by hand. This is going to slide on top of the pole as well, like so. I'm just going to stand up here, and I need to loosen those screws a little bit more. A little bit more. There we go. So now it slides onto the pole. We just get it in line with the other ones. And I've got my Allen key, same Allen key, and we'll just tighten that up on the pole to hold it in place. So now this here, again, it can tilt down, up and down, and then it also can turn left and right. So it gives you lots of options to adjust the viewing angle of the tablet. Now back to this guy for a second. So we had the tablet mount, which is now attached to the VESA adapter. The VESA adapter's got 2 screw holes in the back of it, and again in the screw package you will take the couple screws like this that have an Allen key head on them, and we'll just put those in, and we can just finger tighten them to start. Just once I get that lined up properly. Yep, that one's kind of going in, and then this one here. Same thing, it's going in, just finger tighten it, and then you can take the Allen key, make sure I get the right one here, take the Allen key, and then you can tighten those screws up. The Allen key, just tighten them up, and then that will hold the VESA adapter on. Now it's not going to pop off on you. Okay, so now we've got the pole. We would have our third clamp here, like so, and the tablet then. So depending on your tablet, the adapter here, you can adjust the arms and adjust the length of this. It can slide in and out depending on the size of the tablet. So what I typically like to do is, if you look at where your port is for charging, you want it at the opposite end of where the single arm is. And so I'm just going to adjust these to get these into the corner, push that back so that it kind of clamps it in place. And there's a little lever on the back. You'll push that, and then the tablet should stay in place. So you just push that in a little bit more. And then the tablet will stay in place, like so. So now we have the tablet in place. The USB power charger, 4-port power charger, which I take out of the bag here. Yours, I believe, looks something like this. There could be a small variation in it depending on our supplier, what they have in stock. But essentially, just plug this into a standard wall outlet, and then the power supply can sit down here. So if you have an iOS device, as it is here, an iPad, it's an iPad mini, we're going to use the lightning cable, and so this cable is long. So if you decide to put this, for example, below the counter, because it's closer to a charging cradle and there's a hole in the counter, you can then feed this cable through. It's 2 meters long, so you've got quite a length of cable that you can work with. And so we plug that in like so, obviously, and then other end goes into your charger. You're good to go. I'm just looking for the headphone jack, because that's the audio part of this as well. And yes, the headphone jack is at the other end here. So here we have power to the tablet. So this cable here, there's 3 of them, and then they plug into the tablets like so. 3 cables, 3 tablets, and we'll have 3 of these at the end. So what we want to do is take our adapters here, these Y adapters, and take our first 2 tablets and plug them in like so. Let's undo this one. So that's the first 2 tablets are going to plug in to the first Y adapter like so. The third tablet will also plug one of these in. Like so. And so now you'll have 2 of your tablets plugged in like that. Your third tablet will be plugged in like this. And then we have one more adapter Actually, we may, you know what? Don't even need that. We're going to take that off. We got our two tablets plugged. First two tablets are plugged into an adapter. Then you'll have the cable from the third tablet. So we're going to plug the cable from the third tablet and the adapter that has the first two tablets into this second adapter here. So we're kind of left with that. And then finally, this here could then just plug into the speaker set that we sent you, like so. So there should be a headphone jack on the back of the speaker that plugs in. The speaker that you're receiving will get power actually off the USB. So it'll have a power cord, and it'll have a USB connection on it, similar to this. That will then plug into your power adapter. So the power adapter has 4 ports, 3 tablets, and your speakers. And then on your speakers you'll have a volume adjustment, like so, maybe an on off, and then you can adjust the volume of your speakers to the level you need in the location where you have the tablets. That's pretty well it. So we did provide cable ties. So as the cables are coming down from the tablets, you can use cable tie that we provided to then just go around the pole and neatly bring your cables down to the base, and so you can probably use 3 or 4 cable ties to keep everything neatly together. If you have any questions, you can call me directly. My name is Nigel, and my company is NEB Solutions. We do a lot of work for Care Foods on the AV side, as well as some data and KDS work. And if you can call me directly at area code 905-866-9481. Thank you.